I, 27 million, moved into this old apartment about 6 weeks ago. I'm not usually one to believe in strange stuff, ghosts, curses, or anything like that. But after what happened, I'm not sure what to believe anymore. Let me start from the beginning. I'd been looking for a place in the city for months. Everything was insanely expensive. I work remote doing graphic design, so I didn't need anything fancy, just a decent space, quiet, and with solid Wi-Fi. When I found the listing for a one-bedroom apartment in a quiet neighborhood for only $650 a month, utilities included, I thought it had to be a scam. But I called anyway. An old man answered. He introduced himself as Mr. Halverson, the landlord, said the place had been empty for a while, but he'd be happy to rent it out if I could move in quickly. I visited that afternoon. The place was okay. Not bad. Old carpet, dusty corners, outdated kitchen, but livable. The layout was a little odd, though. When I stepped inside, I noticed something strange. The hallway seemed longer on the outside than it looked from inside. I chalked it up to the design and didn't think much of it. I was desperate. I signed the lease the next day. For the first 2 weeks, everything was fine. Quiet neighbors, decent heating, and the Wi-Fi worked better than my last place. I got into a routine, work during the day, Netflix at night, occasionally take a walk. Nothing unusual. Until I started hearing noises. They weren't loud, just small taps, like something knocking lightly against a wall. At first I assumed it was the pipes or neighbors, but the sound came from the same place every night, right behind the wall in my bedroom. And then came the cold. Even when the heater was on, that wall was always freezing. I placed my hand on it and could feel cold air seeping through. I started getting headaches and waking up at 3:15 a.m. Always 3:15. I don't believe in witching hour nonsense, but waking up at the exact same minute for a week straight got under my skin. That's when I remembered the weird layout. One night, I decided to investigate. I pulled out a tape measure and compared the lengths of the bedroom wall and the opposite living room wall. There was a difference of about 5 feet. That space had to be going somewhere, so I knocked. The sound was solid until one spot where it echoed slightly. I tapped again. Hollow. I got a utility knife and started peeling the old wallpaper back. My heart was pounding like I was doing something illegal. Underneath, I found a wooden panel, painted the same color as the wall. It was nailed shut. Curiosity completely took over. I ran to my kitchen, grabbed a flathead screwdriver, and pried it open. Behind the panel was a small, pitch-dark corridor, maybe 3 feet wide. The air was thick and musty, like it hadn't moved in decades. I pointed my phone flashlight inside. It wasn't long, maybe 10 feet, ending in a single wooden door. No knob, just an iron latch. At this point, I should have stopped. Something in my gut was screaming to back out and seal it shut. But I didn't. Instead, I stepped in, barefoot, heart racing. Each step creaked. The floor was wooden, but oddly smooth, like it had been walked on recently. I reached the door and opened the latch. What I saw still haunts me. The room was completely stone. Floor, ceiling, walls, cold. There was no window, no electricity, nothing, except a chair, a single wooden chair. And sitting in it was a man. At least I think it was a man. He was impossibly still, pale. His skin looked dry and cracked, like parchment left in the sun too long. His eyes were open, wide, almost unnaturally, but he didn't blink. He didn't move. I didn't breathe. Behind him, something was carved into the stone wall. Close the door, or take his place. That was enough. I bolted out, slammed the panel shut, and pushed my dresser in front of it. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I went to speak with Mr. Halverson. His office was just down the block. But when I got there, the building manager looked confused. "Mr. Halverson?" she asked. "He passed away 3 weeks ago." I was stunned. "No, I just spoke to him when I signed the lease." She frowned. "That's not possible. He died in hospice. Cancer. His nephew's been managing the property since." I showed her my lease. She scanned it, then paused. Her face went pale. This isn't his signature." I looked down. The signature at the bottom of the page was mine, just mine. No landlord's signature, no witnesses, nothing. That night, I dreamed of the man in the chair. He wasn't sitting anymore. He was standing in the hallway outside my bedroom, still not moving, just watching. I woke up drenched in sweat at 3:15 a.m. Over the next few days, I started hearing whispers from behind the wall. Nothing distinct, just murmurs, like someone was practicing a language I didn't understand. I stopped sleeping. My lights began flickering.